Hello, good evening, guys. How are you guys? How are you tonight? I hope everyone is doing well. We are here starting again another studies of the Gospel according to Spiritism. If anyone can say to me if my sound is fine, if everything's working well, please, I would appreciate. Everything seems okay. Okay, guys, so nice to have you guys here again. Tonight, we're going to be continuing our studies of the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 24, which is called Do Not Hide the Light Under a Bushel. And, so tonight we're going to be continuing that. So we stopped before on item 10. So we're going to be continuing on item 11 tonight. Okay? So let's just give him a minute. Oops, this light should come back this way. Let's just give a minute and then we can start. Okay. Let's. Okay. Okay, everything seems fine, guys. So we're going to start. Okay. So in order to start, we're going to do our initial prayer. So for those who feel comfortable and would like to participate, I would invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath, to try to calm down ourselves, our minds, and our hearts, forgetting all the troubles and difficulties we may have. Let's leave everything outside of our mind and let's clear our heart in order that the teachings of Spiritism can be enlightening and fruitful to us. May the good Spirit support us and help us to understand these wonderful teachings of the good spirits, Allan Kardec, and our Master Jesus. Thank God, and so be it. Okay, guys. So tonight, as we said, we are in chapter 24. Do not hide the light under a bushel. And here, in these studies, we have here on item 11, when Jesus was having a dinner in a house of a publican, which in this case Matthew, the one of the Bible, one of the apostles. And then came other publicans and sinners. And then the Pharisees, they were just there on the corner and they were looking at Jesus and they said to the apostles, "Hey, why does your teacher is doing with the sinners? Why is he eating with those unclean?" And Jesus heard these words, even if he was a bit far away. And then he went to the publicans and to the Pharisees, and they said, "Those who are sick do not need a physician. Only those who are sick need my help." So it's quite strange when Jesus said that, because perhaps he was pointing out who was sick and who was not sick. He was saying to the Pharisees, only the sick need the physician. But then we have to ask ourselves, who are the sick here? Okay, so that's what we're going to be trying to understand here. Hi, Claire. Good evening from Brazil. Nice. Okay, guys. So here we have to understand that in the time of Jesus himself, he wasn't going to those ones who proclaimed they knew something, to those ones who perhaps they thought they knew the truth, they were the powerfuls, or to those ones who claimed they were clean, they didn't need any external help from any kind of spirit or any kind of gods, or those who proclaimed that they knew everything in the world. Jesus did not go to those ones. If you take the Bible itself, you're gonna see that Jesus went to prostitutes, he went to sinners, to those who are sick, to those who are mentally ill, to those who are publicans. For those who doesn't know what publican is, a publican is a Jew, but is a Jew in charge to collect taxes from their fellow Jew beings. So they were, let's say, they were quite hated by the Jewish population because they had to charge taxes for the Romans. So once we think about this, we have to understand that sometimes we ask ourselves, why? Like sometimes, let's say we go to a spirit center, or you hear in the media someone who it's so-called a medium, and that person is not doing good things, that person is not following Jesus' steps, or we judge that person is not really acting as they're supposed to be acting if they are called Christians or Spiritists, then we would think mediumship would be something that all God only would give to those good beings, to those who are good persons in general, to those ones who are more evolved, as we say. But in fact, we don't see that in reality. In reality, we see many mediums, many, and the majority of the mediums that we see, we see, it's quite clear to us, we can perceive on them many faults of character, many vices which they have. So then we ask ourselves, why does that person, let's say, we are not here to judge, okay? But once we take that famous medium, John of God, first, he wasn't a spiritist, just to clarify to everyone. He himself proclaimed him as a Catholic. So once we take him, I really believe that he was a medium. But then why God would give mediumship to someone who committed the crimes that he committed? And here, Spirit and the Gospel according to Spiritism explains to us that mediumship, it's an organic faculty which is given to good and to bad humans. As it says here, it gives to to those ones who are bad for a chance for them to improve themselves, and for those ones who are good to even improve themselves further. So once you take, for example, again, we're not judging John of God, don't get us wrong, but once you take a case like this, or someone who perhaps is a medium and is making a lot of money with his mediumship, we ask ourselves, if we understand a little bit about Spiritism, if we studied the medium's book, if we study the Gospel according to Spiritism, the Spiritist book, or the works of Chico Xavier and Divaldo Franco, we know that that person, because that person is making money with his or her mediumship, that person is not really following Spiritist teachings. But then we ask ourselves, why God would give mediumship to that person? Because as we said, God is giving that to everyone in different kind of levels. And sometimes the good spirits, they are supporting a person who has mediumship in order for them to try to understand what their mission is on earth. When they are giving this opportunity to that person, then that person can improve him and herself. But as it says here also, once there is no thing on the universe that God cannot abuse. So even if you give mediumship to someone who has this kind of evil mind, that person will abuse this mediumship, perhaps doing what he should supposed not be doing, but eventually the good spirits will be away from that person. Then someone may say, but Vanderlei, that person will lose mediumship because that person is committing evil with his mediumship. Is that true? Not in fact, not really. Because maybe, like we have again, John of God, I really believe that he was with spirits surrounding him and is still with spirits surrounding him. The question that we have to ask here ourselves is this: which kind of spirits are surrounding a man like him? Or which kind of spirit is surrounding a medium who is selling his mediumship gifts on Instagram or Facebook and trying to, read cards of to tell the future of people with their mediumship, or who is trying to sell more books because they have a mediumship and they're inventing lies on the top of that mediumship. Which kind of spirits are connecting with that medium? That's the main thing that we have to be careful here, that we have to care in this point. Because mediumship is a human, is an organic faculty. If you are good or if you are evil, you're still gonna have mediumship. But the spirits who are surrounding yourself will be the difference. Because as it says here, a good medium is not that one who gets really a fast connection with the spiritual world. No, is that one who normally would connect himself with only good spirits. That's a good medium. Even if we see in the spiritual meetings, in healing meetings, or in obsession sessions, where a medium takes a while for him to get connected with the spirituality, but once he gets connected with good spirits. While some other members of the group, each time that someone starts to say something, they start to say a prayer, that person starts to shake and start to say things and start to dance, sometimes even. We are not judging, but we are trying to explain here that mediumship is an organic faculty, okay? But all the abuse committed by mediums using their mediumship will be punished. So they're gonna have to deal with that in the future, and we see that a lot in spiritism. That's why in some cases, of course, the mediumship of that person may be taken away from that medium, but in general, that's not taken away, because that's a choice of the medium. And only in extreme cases that the mediumship is taken away, because the spirits, they understand that that person perhaps doesn't know what he's doing, and that mediumship is not going to be helping him much because he doesn't want. So in that case, which is only a small number, yes, their mediumship may be canceled, we can put it this way, but in general, it's not. In general, a medium always will be a medium. Okay, that's why so many people, they say, I didn't want to see the spirits, I didn't want to have this kind of dreams, I didn't want to hear voices in my head. And doesn't matter how much they don't want, they're gonna still be hearing, they're gonna still be seeing, and they're gonna still be, getting in touch with the spirituality, because that's an organic faculty given to that person in that life. Okay. Here we have, what else we have here? So that's what we have to understand here. That's why when Jesus said to us that he only came to the sick, he came in order to help those ones who are sick, but at the same time, they want to improve themselves. Because if you are in this life, and let's say if you don't believe in anything and you don't believe you need help for anything, you still gonna need help of these good spirits. Of course, you still gonna need help of the good spirits. However, because your mindset, it's so tight that you are so powerful and you are the most important person in the world, that you don't need any help from anyone or any good spirits, that connection is going to be a bit more difficult to be done, because you are not opening yourselves to the universe. You are not being humble. You are full of pride. You are full of ego, that you believe you can do everything on your own. And in fact, we know that we cannot really do everything on our own. Okay. Hi, Lou. Good evening. And if you guys have any questions about mediumship, you guys can ask. But that's what we have to say about here from item 11. And now we're gonna go to item 13, which is quite interesting, which says the courage of faith. Okay, so here we have a beautiful passage from Matthew, which says, "Therefore, whoever shall acknowledge me before men, will also acknowledge myself in front of my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, also will deny myself before my Father in heaven." So Jesus is trying to say basically here, everyone who, who perhaps they believe in myself, or they have seen me here, if in the future they deny me, they're gonna do like Peter did, you know and the night before the crucifixion, where he denied Jesus 3 times. Oh, do you know Jesus? No, I don't know. Have you heard about this man? No, I haven't. Were you with that man? Jesus? No, I wasn't. So Jesus is trying to say to us that in our life, once we know the truth, you cannot deny the truth anymore. Because once you deny the truth, once we deny what is good, once we deny what is good for ourselves and everyone else, we are hiding the light under the bushel. That's what we are talking, in this chapter here. You are denying a light which, once you have seen, there is no chance of you pretend you haven't seen. That's what is Jesus trying to say to us here. That everyone who have heard his words, these words of wisdom, everyone who have heard these teachings of forgiveness, of kindness, everyone who have heard that there is a father, a loving father in heaven, in the universe, everyone who has heard that we must try to forgive our enemies, our trespass, as we want our trespass to be forgiven. If you simply deny that, you are denying the truth. So in this case, one day, the law of cause and effect will ask you, not why have you denied it, but it's like, you have the chance of doing something and you haven't not done anything. That's why he says this, that everyone who is ashamed of be surrounding him, when we being surrounding him in the days of today, we can say that some people, they have their faith, and once they're in front of their friends, they say, well, do you believe in anything? No, I don't believe in anything. But in fact, they believe in something. And Jesus is trying to say to us that we have to have courage to proclaim our faith. We don't have to go on a square, take a microphone, and start to try to convince people. No, he's not saying this, but he's saying that one day life will confront us, asking us to have courage to talk about what we believe. If you have heard before that forgiveness is something good, and if you believe that forgiveness is something good, and if you don't forgive, you're going to cause harm to yourself. Once you have a brother, once you have someone at work, and that person needs a good word, and if you be quiet, if you abstain yourself, you are in debt. Why? Because you could have helped that person, if that person coming to you, of course. Especially here in Europe, if someone does not ask you anything, if you go and start to say to something to someone, some people, they might get offended really, really easy, because we don't have the habit of getting. We don't have the habit of trying to intervene in people's life like we have in Brazil, for example. So, but if someone comes to you and asks you, hey, what do you believe? What is Spiritism? What is reincarnation? Why do you guys believe in Jesus? Is Jesus not that man who was in the cross? Or some, any they ask you anything, if you be quiet in silence, it's like if you are trying to deny what you've learned, then it's not the best practice to us as a spirits. That's why Jesus was saying to us, once you know something good, spread the good words. And the spirits, they say the same. That's why he says here to us that sometimes in life, this courage of keeping our faith, not only to us, but to say to someone when they ask, it's a proof of courage. If you take the time of Jesus, he was talking about the first martyrs, those ones who were eaten by lions, those ones who were burned at the stake, those ones who were killed in the name of faith. And we have many people who were killed in the name of faith a while ago. Once you take in the Reformation in Europe, in Germany, in Czech Republic, in England, so many people, so many people died because of their faith. In history, we have this kind of people who died because they believe in something. We have in the United States Martin Luther King, who was someone who died for the dream to have equality to people, to have equality in the world for white and black people living in America. And what was Martin Luther King fighting for? For equality, for love, for respect for one another. And whose these lessons are? These are Jesus' lessons. So If Martin Luther King, seeing what he saw in the United States in the 60s and the 70s, and he knew that he could have done something if he haven't done anything, then his conscience would ask him, you could have done it. Why have you not done it? Why? So that's what the Jesus is trying to say to us. We need courage sometimes. And courage is not something easy. Because, for example, I've seen a lot here in Ireland, for example, girls, for example, who are married with Irish locals, Irishmen, and they believe in their faith. But eventually, because their partner, they don't believe in anything, they don't like any kind of religion, or especially once she talks about Jesus, they associate with the Catholic faith, which was quite bad here in Europe, especially in Ireland, with all the child abuse and so on. Again, we are not judging, but that's an historical fact. So that Irish person says, you are talking about Jesus. Oh, it's religion, so I don't want to hear it. And then, because of she got married, because they are having a life together, sometimes I've seen girls who stay away from the spirit center, but they still believing. Of course, sometimes there are times which I believe, if I was in her position, that maybe would be nice to stay away for a while, but then I would go back. I think because they believe on that, but they are isolating their faith because of someone, because of their relationship. Again, we are not here to judge, but again, in life, sometimes you're gonna have to have courage to say to your partner, hey, you don't believe in anything, that's fine, but I do believe, so I'm gonna go there every Sunday. I like doing that. If you don't want to come with me, happy days, you don't have to come, but I will go every Sunday there. I will participate on a live on Tuesday and Thursday. If you don't want to participate, that's fine, but do not ask me to block my faith because of you. So Jesus is talking about this small attitude sometimes that we do with ourselves. He's not talking to us, he's not asking us to go and tell to the world what we believe and what we don't believe. He's not asking us to proclaim spirit to the world, but in the times that our faith is asked, and especially not with our words, but with our attitude. Because remember what Jesus said before, my disciples, they will be well known because they love each other so much. So he's not saying, oh, my disciples, they will be well known because they're going to be talking about me a lot. No, he said, my disciples, they will be well known in society because they would love each other a lot. Their actions would make them to be seen as a Christians. So Jesus is asking us, okay, have faith, courage of faith, but your faith must be something not that only you proclaim, but something that you act, something that you have in your daily life. Because when someone they see you far away, they're gonna say, they might not say to you, but they're gonna say, they even gonna be thinking, oh, that's the spiritist person. Why do I know that that person is a spirit? Because he's following, the steps of Jesus. They are trying to improve themselves. They are not perfect at all. No, not at all. But at least they are trying. Because it doesn't matter which religion you are. Doesn't matter which place you go. If you are just going there on Sundays and you're not putting practice what you learn, then you have a trouble. So Jesus asking us to have this courage, to live our faith. And it's not something easy. That's something quite difficult. I say that by experience. It's not easy to come here every Tuesday and say something. In my personal life, I do most of the time something, I act different. It's hard for me to say that, but that's what we do. Because these steps, they are difficult to take. But Jesus only asked that to us because we are capable of. That's why he come in the gospel here on the item 17. We have the topic, carry your cross. He will save this and left. No, carry your cross. He who will save his life shall lose it. So Jesus is talking here about the passage which is very common to us in the Bible, when he says to one that everyone has to carry their own cross. So to carry our own cross is to have faith. Is to have faith, because sometimes we have our difficulties and we still know that our life is we still know that doesn't matter how much that time is right now, that that's for a reason, and that will pass also. We're still gonna have faith, to believe that God loves us, that God is not just a meaning being, or he doesn't exist or something like this. So to have courage and faith, it means to carry our cross. And here we have a passage in Luke which says, "Blessed are you when men hate you, when they try to separate you from their company, and reproach you and reject you in my name. And for this sake, all the evil that is directed to the Son of Man would be dealt. Rejoice on that day and leap for a joy, for surely your own reward will be great in heaven. For this, in the same manner, was the prophets." So what he's trying to say, sometimes it's difficult to read these passages of the Bible in English, because even in Portuguese is difficult, but English is difficult also. He's saying to us here that once we are carrying our cross, instead of be complaining, we should rejoice. Why? Because we are given the chance to deal with the problems that we have to work on in order to improve, you know? So that's why he says, "Whoever wants to follow my steps will have to renounce themselves and take up their cross and follow me." So is Jesus asking me to leave all my life away like St. Francis did, and live in poverty and forget about the world and follow him? Not really. But he's saying to us, like he said before, to give what belongs to Caesar, what belongs to Father or to heaven or to God. What he's trying to say, if you live in this world, we need the material stuff, but we should not only live for the material stuff, for work and to have the best clothes, to have the best car, to eat the best food. So we should live in this life with a bigger goal, in order to try to improve ourselves, in order to try to seek the truth, like Plato and Socrates used to say, that every man who seeks and fights for the truth is a free man in their mind, and in the spiritual world. So Jesus is trying to say to us that if we renounce ourselves, as we said, is not to leave everything behind, but is to find this balance between life, material life, and spiritual life. We should not give up spiritual life for material life, and we should not give up material life for spiritual life, because we need material life. If we didn't need, okay, happy days. Only a few bunch of people can be like St. Francis, like Chico Xavier, like Mahatma Gandhi, like Mother Teresa. Only a few bunch of people. They are the models, yes, like Jesus is the greatest model, but we are far from it. So if we can improve ourselves, if we can try to forgive those ones who have done any harm to us, or if we can deal in society in a friendly and respectable way, we are following his steps. And once we are getting better on it, we're going to start to be able to leave material life behind. But that takes time, you know? So that's why here, Jesus is saying to us that we should consider the creatures, the blessed creatures, those ones who are living a sincere faith, because they are exercising it. And how they are exercising it? Through difficulties. Because let's say we are spiritists here, we believe in previous reincarnation. So if in a previous reincarnation, let's say I was someone who committed many, many crimes towards regarding money. So in this life here, perhaps if I perceive poverty, it's because that's happening to me, because probably I was someone who abused material life. I'm not saying that's a cake recipe, which is that's the case all the time. No, but maybe let's say if I was someone who was rich and who abused material means, who abused my power, maybe in this life I come as a poor people. And who will be those one who will be blessed? who are in this situation, those who accept their fate, those who are carrying their cross. It doesn't mean that they sit there, they sit and say, okay, I'm suffering because I did something in a previous reincarnation. No, they might not even believe in reincarnation. They might not even believe in anything like this. Okay, they might not believe in any kind of religion, but they are living their life in the best way possible. They are not complaining. They are not giving out. Whenever they have the chance, if someone needs help, they go there and they support that person. You know, that is to be carrying your own cross. Once you are facing difficulties, you're not mourning all the time. You're not giving out to people because you believe that the world is guilt and you are the one who is not doing anything. You are a victim in this world. No, you know that you did something, because otherwise you would not receive that from life, from God, because otherwise God wouldn't be just God. That's what the Spiritism is trying to bring to us. And he's saying here, then take up your cross, all those who wish to follow me, which he meant that we must be courageous in our trials and tribulations that our faith is about to bring, where people who only wishes to save their life, so someone who only think about their own well-being, someone who only thinks about themselves in all ways possible, those ones, they are trying to save themselves, but they're not thinking about the others. They are not thinking about to improve themselves. They are not admitting that if they have some difficulties, they have their parcel of guilt on that situation. They are not victims there, you know. And once you are doing this, you are just attracting, this kind of this energy to you. So any place that you go, you never do anything wrong. Always the others, they are doing something against you. Is that person, for example, in a company, who is always complaining about their boss and about their colleagues? Oh, everyone has done this to me, that's why my performance is low. You see, I don't have a good salary because my boss doesn't like me. Oh, I knew someone else will be promoted instead of me. you know this kind of way of thinking, you know do not don't support us to see the truth, that if any kind of difficulties, we are having any kind of difficulty in our lives, it's because we must pass on that trial, we must leave that situation, because those who only will try to take the best advantage of what they can get in this world. Once they come to the spiritual world, as it says here, they have received already their recompense. They have received already their rewards. While those people who are living their life in a non-prideful way, being humble, supporting others, asking themselves when they go to sleep, how was my day? What have I done today? Maybe I'm having this difficult, but why am I having this kind of difficult? What have I done? Why does that person does not like me? Of course, we cannot make everyone likes us. We cannot please everyone. That's for sure. But sometimes there is someone that we used to like, we used to be a friend, but now that person does not really talk to us, and then we think, oh, it's because of that person. That person did this and that. But what have you done? Sometimes we do things and we don't pay attention, because if you ask that person may come to you and say, you have done this and that. But once you ask yourself, you would never say, really, did I do that? You would never admit that you did that. Sorry, you would not never admit that you did that, but in fact you did. Of course, there will be times where it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to please the world, and that's fine. Even Jesus himself, he could not please the entire world. People in the time of Jesus, they saw what he did. People who were happy on the streets, uh, you know, supporting him, who were rejoicing that he was there. One in the next day, they were throwing stones at him. They were shouting names at him at the cross. So we as a humans, we sometimes we are partial. We take advantage for only ourselves, and we try to save ourselves because maybe that as those people who I'm talking about, maybe they were afraid of the Romans, which is understandable. But those ones, there were those who weren't afraid of the Romans. They fought for Jesus, not for Jesus the person, but for the idea of truth, the idea of forgiveness, the idea that the Roman Empire shouldn't be doing what they were doing with the poor, the idea that women, any kind of women, should be respected like men. There were no difference that anyone, doesn't matter if what they believe or what they don't believe, which kind of sexuality they prefer, they should be respected the same way. These were Jesus' ideas. you know some people, they live these ideas, and they pay a huge price for it. But some people, once they start to pay the price, they run away. They say, okay, that's too much for me. Then we're gonna have trouble, as it says here in the gospel according to Spiritism. Then we're gonna be asked, what have we done with our talents, with our life? And it's not something easy to live your faith, to believe in something, and to live according to what you believe. That's really difficult, but that's what Spiritism is trying to bring here to us. Okay, guys, if you guys have any questions or comments, guys, feel free, because tonight we're not going to be that long, because only a small part was to be discussed tonight. So tonight we end up chapter 24 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, which is, the title is "Do Not Hide the Light Under a Bushel." Okay, so yeah, so next week we're gonna be starting chapter 25, which is called "Seek and We Will Find." Okay, so yeah, for tonight we are done. I hope that was fruitful. I hope that was clear and clarifying to everyone. And if you guys have any questions or comments, guys, feel free. Hi, Robbie. How you doing, man? Thanks for having you here. Mihaila. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that. If I'm not pronouncing that properly. We use the Gospel according to Spiritism, which is explaining passages of the Bible uh, from what we believe, with the help of superior spirits. But for maybe you don't know, Spiritism is a Christian faith, but we don't see Christianity perhaps as some Catholics they see, or some Protestants they see. We respect, but we see Christianity in a bigger way. That's why, to us, Spiritists, like for Christianity, for Catholics, they believe that Jesus is the greatest man who ever came to earth, and they believe that God, uh, Jesus was God and the Holy Spirit. We believe that Jesus is the most important spirit who ever came to earth, who is the model for our for our world, for the entire earth. But he's a spirit like we are, but he's a more evolved spirit than we are. That's why we believe that he's our master and model. I hope that makes some sense, Michaeli. But if you want, we can try to send you some links if you want to know more about Spiritism. But Spiritism basically is a Christian faith which believes in reincarnation, but also believes in the connection with the spiritual world, which means the dead. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link right here. The books, you can find these books in PDF. Just give me a second. Mm, okay, just a second. Library. Okay. Okay. Michaeli, I hope that I'm saying properly. So I send you the link of our website, the Irish Spiritism Federation. And once you click in that link, you're going to be directed to the works of Allan Kardec. Allan Kardec was a French philosopher and a teacher who lived in France. He was many more things. He had many titles. But Allan Kardec, he codified, which means kind of he wrote these books, but he didn't write these books with his own ideas. We believe he had support from high evolved spirits, and all these spirits, they were guided by Jesus. So to us in Spiritism, Jesus is the most important spirit. So if someone says to you, "I believe in reincarnation, but I don't believe in Jesus," like the Hindus, no problem. We don't care about what people believe or not. I mean, we respect what people believe. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, but we believe in reincarnation in a different way that some traditions they believe. So we are Christians, but we believe in a bit more things. We believe in extra stuff, such as connection with the spiritual world, with the dead, which of course has to be done in a proper way. It's not like just trying to connect with a spirit of deceived person. We believe in the plurality of the words, which means all the globes in the universe, all the places in the universe, they have life. Maybe not life as we see here on earth, but the spiritual life perhaps. And we believe that God is everywhere. So God is this bigger, this massive energy, you know. But we are giving reincarnation in order to progress. If you ask me, but why do we reincarnate? We reincarnate to progress, to improve ourselves, to correct the deeds that we did in the past. So then, one day, once we become a pure spirit like Jesus is now, we're gonna be rewarded with this because of our because our good deeds, because of our actions, not because only God wanted us to become angels. So we're gonna have to improve ourselves with our own actions. But yeah, have a look, Michaela, and we're gonna try, if you want, if you are here next week again, we try to send you more links about it if you want, of course. Let me see. I think we have a question here. Uh, but okay, but life before life doesn't exist in reincarnation. I'm not really sure what you meant, but like example, before we are living right here in this life, I don't know if that's what you meant. Let's say before the life which I had here, I was in the spiritual world. And when I was in the spiritual world, before I was in the spiritual world, I had a life on earth where I lived, I did my things, and before I had a life. But if you go right there, far, far away, let's say my first reincarnation, as the Spirit's book says to us, that we are always spirits created by God, but in different times. So once we were created by God, like for example, once you take Jesus, why is Jesus the master? Why is he a pure spirit? Is he better than me? No, he's just a spirit who was created much longer before myself, before yourself, and everyone here. So he had more time to improve more himself. But he's, as we say, as Christianity says, he's a son of God, like we all are son of God. Jesus himself said, "You all can do everything which I do, but you don't know that you can do that yet." So Jesus was trying to say to us that we all have the power to be someone, a pure, someone more honest, someone who is kinder, who is able to forgive, who is able to be nice with each other. But we need time in order to do certain things. We need time to do the actions, to do the things that Jesus did also. So that's why we need reincarnation, because in one life we wouldn't be able to improve ourselves straight. So once we think about Jesus, Paul of Tarsus, and all these good spirits, those spirits, they were spirits who had several incarnations until they reached that level. I hope that makes sense, Michaeli, and everyone also. Uh, but that's what we in Spiritism we believe. But if you download these books, especially the Spirits book, which is the second one here in the link I sent you, there is plenty of explanation, and for those who doesn't who wants to understand a little bit more about the Spiritist book, for example, on Spiritism, we have our studies of the Spirits book every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And this studies is done via Zoom. So if you want to participate, Mikael, you have to send an email to spiritismisland@gmail.com, and someone will reply to you with a Zoom link where you can go there and participate. So every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Okay. And also for Mikael and for everyone who is here for the first time, we have our virtual healing, which we will start soon at 8:30. So if you guys stay on our YouTube channel at 8:30, the healing team will have this virtual healing, which is really good. And it's not because we are not in presence that the healing doesn't work. It does work, in fact. So you guys can participate. Okay, let me see here. Hi, Olga. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like. Okay, guys. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So for those who are here for the first time, we have our lives every Tuesday and every Tuesday and Thursday, a quarter past 7, okay, Irish time. And we have also our lives every Sunday at the quarter past 11 a.m. So Tuesday, Thursday, 7:15 in the evening, Sunday, quarter past 11 a.m. Okay, and we're gonna be start to have our presence sessions in September. Let me see if I have the date here on their website. Yes, we're gonna be having our face-to-face meetings on the 4th of September, which is gonna be bi-weekly. We're gonna be sharing the location. We're gonna be sharing the location with everyone here. Okay, guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead. We still have a few minutes, or otherwise, we're gonna be ending this section tonight. And Stephen or myself will be here on Thursday, talking about the Spirits book. And next week, as we said, we're gonna be starting chapter 25 of the Gospel according to Spiritism again, and the title is "Seek and We Will Find." Okay. Okay, guys, so we're gonna be doing our final prayer. For those who feel comfortable, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. Let's thank God for the lives we have. Let's thank the superior spirits for the help tonight. Let's thank our Master Jesus and all the good spirits related to the codification and Allan Kardec. All those ones who gave their time, who gave their life, in order that the teachings of love, peace, equality, honesty, and fraternity, all the good teachings of our Master Jesus, would be shared among us, be spread to those who want perhaps to live a more meaningful life, who wants a good life not only for them, but for those surrounding them, who wants to learn the difficult lesson of forgiveness, the difficult lesson of kindness. Even though many lessons to us we seem very far away and difficult to us to comprehend and to learn, we have to understand that the good spirits, they support us. They are all the time surrounding us, enlightening our minds and our hearts. They are trying to make themselves not visible, perhaps, but they are trying to make us aware that they are supporting us. And the best way to us to feel these spirits is to act with kindness, with love, with respect to one another, to seek the truth, to seek to improve ourselves. That's the best tool that the medium's book brings to us in order to connect with spirituality, to be humble, less prideful, and to try to only give to the others what we would like to be given to us. Though difficult and challenging, if the good spirits they brought that lesson to us here on earth, it means we are able to follow. However, it demands hard work and goodwill from ourselves. So we must do our part. Thank God, and so be it. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for your presence here. So see you this Thursday or next week. Good night, guys. Bye bye.